Okay, it's 5:30, so I will call this public hearing to order. I'd like to start by acknowledging that this meeting is respectfully held on the traditional territory of the Tsaykas First Nation, on whose land we live, work, and play. I'll call the meeting to order, and I'm going to read a statement. This public hearing is convened pursuant to Section 465 of the Local Government Act in order to consider zoning amendment for 103 2nd Street West, bylaw 1292/2025. The purpose of this bylaw is to amend Section 8.15A of zoning bylaw 1230/2020 to allow a retail store as principal use at 103 2nd Street West. That is a site-specific amendment. This amendment will allow new property owners to open and operate a new vape shop business in the existing building. At this public hearing, any person who believes their interest is affected by the proposed bylaw shall be given an opportunity to be heard on the matters contained in the proposed bylaw. However, it is important that all who speak at this meeting restrict their remarks to matters contained in the bylaw, and it is the responsibility of the chair of this meeting to ensure that all remarks are so restricted. Those of you who wish to speak concerning the proposed bylaw should, at the appropriate time, commence your address to council by clearly stating your name, name of the street you live on, and indicate if you are for or against the proposed bylaw. Then you may give council the benefit of your views. Members of council may, if they so wish, ask questions of you following your presentation. However, the main function of council members this evening is to listen to the views of the public. It is not the function of council at this public hearing to debate the merits of the proposed bylaw with individual citizens. Everyone who deems their interest to be affected shall be given the opportunity to be heard at this meeting. No one will be or should feel discouraged or prevented from making their views known. Everyone is encouraged to exercise their right to express their views and to have those views heard in an impartial forum. After this public hearing has concluded, council may, without further notice, give whatever effect council believes to be proper in the representations made at this hearing. Okay. So, sorry, I'll just bring my agenda back up here. Which of course I have the regular meeting, not the. So we have the zoning amendment bylaw 1292/2025 in there. And then we'll move on to public submissions and let our corporate officer speak to that.
So there were no correspondence received when the agenda was published. Following the publication of the agenda, we received 26 letters. 23 were in favor, 3 were not in favor. 14 of those were from within municipal limits, but not within the 100-meter boundary for public notice pursuant to our development procedures bylaw. 1 was from within the 100-meter boundary. 8 were from outside Vanderhoof municipal limits. 1 did not have an address, but had a Vanderhoof post office box. 1 did not have an address. 1 had an incomplete address, and it's Spooner Street. I don't think it's in Vanderhoof, but I couldn't find Spooner Street in the area. So these letters will be attached to the public hearing report, and that's it for written public submissions.
Okay, does anybody else wish to speak? Nobody? Then I declare the public hearing closed. Awesome. Okay, we'll move on to the regular council meeting then. I'd like to start by acknowledging again that this meeting is held on the traditional territory of Tsaykas First Nation, and what a privilege we have to call it our home and the opportunity to live here, work here, play here. We have an agenda circulated. Are there any additions or deletions? One late item, and you're going to remind me what that was.
Yeah, so the late item was just in regards to the Knight Creek.
Right.
Ground tap.
So put that as 6.5?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else? Does somebody want to move adoption as amended? Seconder? All in favor? That's carried. We have the minutes from the August 11th and August 18th meetings. Somebody like to move adoption? Seconder? Anything coming out of those? All in favor? Carried. Delegations, inclusive play-space proposal. Bobby, do you want to come up and present? It's not coming. Hang on a second.
I
We're
don't
good
know how
now.
these things work.
It's day one with the new system, so be patient with us.
Oh, no, if it is, well, then my apologies. Yeah, okay. Okay, so first of all, thank you for having me. I'm just going to read what I have written here. So, dear Mayor and Council, this proposal outlines a compelling motion for the revitalization and modernization of the Riverside Park play structure, a cornerstone of our community. As one of the main social hearts of Vanderhoof, Riverside Park serves a diverse population and array of events. It is imperative that its amenities reflect the evolving needs of our residents and visitors. This upgrade would not only enhance the quality of life for families, but also serve as a beacon of inclusive play and community spirit. The last major enhancements to Riverside Park before the newest bathroom install and the multi-use path upgrade in 2020 were under the leadership of previous Mayor Jerry Thiessen. The park received a substantial grant of over $300,000 in June 2011 to modify and add various amenities in the Towns for Tomorrow grant. These investments were a testament to our community's commitment to providing high-quality recreational spaces. However, over a decade has passed since those improvements. The wear and tear and over a decade of use combined with advances in inclusive and modern play designs means the current structure is long overdue for an upgrade. A new modern play structure offers numerous benefits that extend beyond simple recreation. A thoughtfully designed space would be fully inclusive, featuring elements accessible to children of all abilities. This includes ramps, sensory components, and accessibility to play spaces, ensuring that every child, regardless of physical or developmental challenges, can experience the joy of play alongside their peers. Furthermore, these modern designs often incorporate multi-generational elements, allowing parents, grandparents, and caregivers to engage directly with the children, fostering stronger family and community bonds. The central location of Riverside Park makes this upgrade a strategic investment for the entire region. For in-town residents, a revitalized park offers a safe and engaging space for daily activities and many social gatherings that Riverside hosts. For the many rural community members and families from surrounding areas like Fort St. James, Fraser Lake, and Sycus First Nation, Riverside Park is a primary destination, a place where all can gather and connect with the broader Vanderhoof community. A new state-of-the-art play structure would increase visitation and tourism, solidifying Vanderhoof's reputation as a welcoming and vibrant regional hub. As we look towards celebrating Vanderhoof's centennial birthday next year, there's no better time to embark on this project. A new play structure for Riverside Park would stand as a legacy and a symbol of our town's enduring commitment to its families and future generations. It would be a monumental birthday present to our community. To demonstrate my community commitment to this project, I have taken the liberty to contact individuals from District of Vanderhoof, Public Works, and PlayQuest Canada prior to requesting the motion today. I have acquired PlayQuest Canada to assist with grant writing and acquisitions of such, ensuring a professional effort to secure the necessary funding. While I would greatly appreciate and welcome any possible funding from the District of Vanderhoof, I am fully prepared to take the steps to fundraise and acquire the necessary grants to move this project forward. PlayQuest is able to help with everything from acquiring funding to design concepts. The collaborative approach from PlayQuest, the district, I, and any other professionals needed will help ensure this project's success and its lasting benefits to the community. In conclusion, the upgrade of Riverside Park play structure is a vital and timely project that addresses a long-standing need. It would create a more inclusive and engaging space for all, strengthen our role as a regional hub, and provide a legacy for Vanderhoof. I strongly urge the council to consider this motion. I do have a couple of notes that weren't in the official note, But as an update, I have had the Connect Club of Vanderhoof reach out to me. They are ready to pair with me as a foundation to stand behind and support the project, as well as Tire Stewardship BC for grants on groundwork around the structure, which is use of recycled tires. And you guys may be familiar, as we have that at the exercise space already. But thank you for your time this evening, everybody.
Well, thanks, Bobby. That was a really good presentation. I'll open it up to any questions from council. Councilor Lozay.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm just curious, what kind of playgrounds does, I have a couple of questions. First of all, a budget that you might, a potential budget you might have in mind for this. And then what kind of play structures does PlayQuest do? Because there's all different kinds of playground designs and, I've seen them, with the, a nature theme. And so I'm just wondering, I'm not familiar.
100%. Yeah. So basically, I've only spoken to them a couple of times on the phone, but she's assured me that they can work with us as a community and a district even
Sure.
to really come together with something that is good for our community. They can from the ground up, build something that's right for us, that's custom. It doesn't need to be from a book. We don't need to go through a magazine and pick something that we all vote on. We can actually build it as we think is kind of appropriate. It has been kind of brought to me from a couple of different community members that they want something that really is quite a nice age range.
Yep.
Something that's not too high for the little ones, and then something that's just able to be used by anybody of any sort of disability, whether that's the wheelchairs or what have you. As far as budget goes, touching base on that, I haven't thought about a budget because I really don't want to limit
Sure.
the project. I'm not looking for a budget from the district. I'm not looking to cap it at anything specific right now. I want to just get our hands on the ball, get it rolling, see what we can attain from the government, the province, local community members. I know there's going to be businesses that would be interested in doing this. I'm willing to put together other fundraising events, what have you, just to see where we can kind of go with it all. Yeah, I don't necessarily have
Okay.
a capped out
That's
budget.
good.
Sorry.
Well, I think that's just really interested in hearing what you have to say, Bobby. And
Yeah.
it's an important, you're right, it's very important. And playground spaces are community spaces, and it's heartwarming to see families using them so
Mhm.
much. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? No? Well, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to 6.1, zoning bylaw amendment application 483 Victoria Street. Okay, pass this on to corporate again.
This first bylaw is for another zoning amendment on 483 Victoria Street East to allow secondary suites in a two-family building. And the building inspector is here if you have any questions for him. So, and sorry, the recommendation is that we proceed with public notice there's no public hearing because it's residential, but we still have to give public notice before first reading, and that it be brought forward to the October 14th meeting with a bylaw for 3 readings.
I'll move the recommendation.
Seconder? Second. Any further discussion or questions for Ben? Councilor Franco?
Ben, we're okay with this scenario happening from your building?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Great answer. Thanks.
Anybody else? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Okay, and we move on to 6.2, zoning bylaw amendment application 183 First Street West.
This is another zoning bylaw amendment, a text amendment to allow a barber shop to open up in the mall where Everything For You is, and to rebuild the entrance. And as it's not for public, as it's not for residential, we have to post notice of waiver of no public hearing. And it will be brought forward as well for October 14th if council passes the resolution. And the building inspector is here to answer any questions.
Councillor Franco?
No. No, I have. Sorry. It's not for the building inspector, but we've had two C2 bylaw sort of, not issues, but come up. So, and staff, we're working on something up to date?
Our zoning bylaw and our OCP have to be updated for the new housing legislation. And actually, nothing in the zoning bylaw has to be changed, which is good, but we do have a bunch of amendments coming forward because it's just time to do some housekeeping amendments.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. I kind of noticed a couple of those, like seedling storage in C2. We don't do that anymore, so.
No.
Yeah, we can take, if we do those amendments, that'd be great.
Councillor Martins?
Yeah, Ben, is that just a renovation inside the building? Is that what that is? Is someone, one of the tenants leaving or changing size of their operation or something?
Company office before. They're wanting to do renovation to make it. Doesn't really. Yeah.
That it was? Oh, yeah, okay. Because the one end is still Rustad office, I think,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And I think that they want to have a separate entrance. Because something to do. Security.
Yeah.
That's just one entrance serves both of those
Yeah.
tenants. That's what I was wondering there, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the work that has to be done on the outside.
A new front entrance.
I don't think we have a motion on this yet, do we?
No.
Seconder?
Second.
Any further questions? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. 6.3, permissive tax exemption bylaw, amendment bylaw 1290-2025.
So this bylaw was to fix up the fishing pond issue over by the Sturgeon Center and the church on Church Avenue. And it had 3 readings on August 11th and is now here before you for adoption.
Move to adopt 1290.
Second. Okay, any discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Okay, so we have the council priorities to remind us.
Yep.
6.5.
6.4 first. Bylaw notice
Oh.
dispute adjudication agreement
Yes.
bylaw 1291-2025. This received, that should say August 11th. This received 3 readings on August 11th as well. And this allows us, when adopted, to enter into an agreement with the Regional District of Bulkley Natako for when we have disputed tickets that go to adjudication.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? That's carried. 6.5.
So we had put in a grant application for the Knight Creek improvements. That was to replace a aging infrastructure that's going through that section. We had proposed to move forward with a replacement of that with a arch structure, being able to allow for spawning salmon to get up that river. Unfortunately, our grant application has been denied. And one of the big things that was noted as part of the rejection on our grant application is that we didn't have a climate action plan. So we have a number of different hazard assessments, risk assessments, vulnerability reports that have done, but nothing kind of brings it together as a cohesive package. The other thing that it doesn't include is any of the climate projections that are important for things of this nature. So what we're proposing to do is to move forward with another application with FCM in order for this work to be done. The deadline for the application is September 16th. So it's going to be a very tight turnaround, but we have engaged with a consultant who's willing to be able to take that on, has put in some successful grants recently in regards to this as well. And we would look at using the same budget that we had available for the Knight Creek, seeing as it's of similar nature. So this is more of an update for council. I will bring forward to you on the October 14th a little bit more detail on what that application actually looks like, as well as just that approval at that time for us to move forward with that. Any questions?
Go ahead, Councillor Franco.
No question, just a comment. Maybe when we start to deal with the action plan and the climate projections, we could rely heavily on Dr. Stefan Drury's work on the Nechako watershed.
Yep.
Talks about where we've gone. We've already exceeded the, whatever it is, 2 degrees here in Vanderhoof. And he deals with the water changes that come. So he's got a couple great little presentations I'm sure we can just grab.
Yeah. So the benefit with this as well is that while we're going to go ahead with a component that will allow us to be able to move forward with this grant application to get the basics of what we need in order to move forward with Knight Creek, the idea will be is that we're going to create a framework for us to be able to have a complete package so that we'll have all of this in our back pocket and ready for us to be able to move forward with adaptation, implementation, all of those processes. So we'll be looking at a new budget for next year in order to continue on with those processes. But the work that'll be done now will be kind of the initial stages of that. So we'll make sure that that's all part of that package so it can be a continuing process.
Good. Okay, now we'll move on to information items. We've got the council priorities there. And then we have the August 2025 financial statements. Any questions there? We also have the check listings for July and August. Good. Okay, we have correspondence 8.1. So this was the letter from Heather Ferris about the intersection at Hamilton and Vanderview. Like to speak? Councillor Lozay.
Yeah, thank you. So I asked to bring these letters forward because, you know, in 2021, I was in an accident there where we were T-boned going down Hamilton. And because someone missed the stop sign. And had it been an isolated event and not come, I wouldn't have raised this or asked it to be brought forward. But since that time, you know, I've experienced other drivers, other occasions where drivers have just rolled through that stop sign. Heather, who lives on the corner there at the intersection, has brought it up, as she has in this letter, that, you know, it's a problem. She's observed it quite a few times of people just rolling right through. And then just recently, the Stanfley family, their youngest son was hit on a bicycle and somebody didn't stop. And so I just really think I would like council to direct staff to have a look at it, some of the options for dealing with people. I went to the BC Community Road Safety Toolkit, and some of the options, you know, for dealing with this would be narrower lanes, chicanes, I think that's how you pronounce it, speed bumps, rumble strips, four-way stops. And with the four-way stop, what they found from a study was that there was a reduction in total number of crashes up to 47%, and injury crashes as much as 71%. So on my very superficial research, it looks like four-way stops might be the way to go, but that's not, you know, just there are options out there, and I'd sure like council to consider maybe directing staff to look at it a little bit more closely. I recognize that, you know, all of the criteria are being met for what's there right now, but the fact is many people are not observing stop sign and stopping. And I would just like to see something happen before somebody gets hurt. Worse.
Anybody else?
Allow staff to options.
Investigate options? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's. Okay, do we have a seconder?
Could you make it? Return to council with
Sure.
report? That staff be directed, council.
Yeah,
that
that-
Staff be directed to return to a November, whatever.
That's
Just a little more-
exactly
just
what
a
I
little
was trying
more-
to say.
just a
So
little more directive than staff.
I like how you
directed.
help us out. Thank you very much. I'll make that motion.
Can we get a seconder before I ask for a friendly amendment?
No.
Is that specific to that intersection?
Well, we're
'Cause I
almost,
get complaints all over town, right?
yeah, I mean, the province is looking at moving all residential streets to 30 kilometers an hour. That's a big
Yeah.
issue that's happening right now. But maybe in the interim, well, you know, for a couple $100, if we could get those big neon outer shells of the stop sign would help. Because it is a long way and they gun up from the hospital and that sign blends in over there on that one side. So I don't know, it would be a quick fix, but I'd still look at all the other options.
Mhm.
Maybe
think-
our first roundabout.
Yeah,
I think maybe moving it to collector roads would be a good idea, right? And I'll let Ken speak now. He's next to mine.
Their problem areas at the same time and do this beyond just the one, because we do have some other issues the same. We addressed the one in Victoria, which I think really helped there. Again, it was another long stretch without a stop, and that's what's happening there. And I think some of the folks, it's not that they're gunning it all at one end. I think you just keep complacent. You're moseying along pretty good, and all of a sudden you just, next thing you know, you're doing 70, right? And it's not that they jumped on it or anything. So breaking it up, having the four-way, whatever it takes. But I think we've got other areas in the community, we should look at all of them. When was that to take effect, the
November.
30? So that's gonna have a huge impact, but we also, not to be a downer on that, but we also have a speed limit we put in place coming off the bridge. And I think we were talking prior to this meeting, the amount of people that are driving through a community right now at very high levels of speeds. I think the four-way stops and other options are probably more impact than just the speed limits by themselves.
For sure. And, you know, I'm hopeful, and I'm just going to jump in here before we come back around. I'm hopeful traffic enforcement is coming back to being located in Vanderhoof, which I think is a really good method. Or, you know, we can maybe get some more enforcement that way. And I think maybe asking RCMP to look at traffic in town a bit. I swear I see somebody roll through the red light right at Burrard and Stewart every single day. Anybody else before we do a second round? Councillor Lozey.
yeah, now that you brought that up, what I was also wondering is, because you're right, there are other, the speeding that's going on through town, down Burrard, I noticed walking, I'm sure riding your bike, you notice as well. I'm just wondering how cameras, you know, where there are cameras up that record speeds of folks, like how is that an option, because enforcement is limited. I don't know, but that would be something else that I would like to know more about. Anyway, that's,
Yeah, I did see the citizens on patrol at that
Yeah.
intersection.
I think they're gonna come present soon, huh? No?
They were there for half a day.
Was ready down here, or-
Yeah, rated Hamilton and.
yeah.
and Vander.
The risk of we're fragmenting a little bit, but I think when you ask about the cameras, it'd be nice to know what options RCMP can come up with that they can actually implement in our community, because going back, and I love the citizen patrol, but now I don't want to put that on them again, where they have to go out and be the ones that are, you know, hey guys, slow down. I think we need to get something a little more teeth, because it works while they're there. And then 2 weeks after they're gone, it's right back, right? So how do we change it? So I think we've all seen way too many close calls in the last few years. It's just the speeds are getting up there again.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay, councillor items. Start with Councillor Frankel.
Just to, you know, I think we'll get to it with Councillor Martins on the Centennial Committee, so that's moved along. I've been numerous meetings. UBCM's coming up, as all of you know that I don't know why I'm wearing this hat, but anyway, local leaders for mental health. We've organized a Monday workshop, 4:30 till 6:30 down at UBCM. We've got a keynote speaker in Corey Hirsch. former Vancouver Canucks